Just as every professional sports team could not function or win without a good coach, no contractor should be doing business without an experienced business coach. All right, got a beautiful day here, and I'm gonna be sharing with you how to think about hiring and utilizing a business coach, what to look out for, and the different ways in which a business coach will help you grow your business, get more free time, all those things that you started your business for originally. You know, we have this entrepreneurial dream. We want to get in business for yourself, and usually it is for, getting more money, which with the end result of having more time for family, friends, doing the things you love, getting outdoors, enjoying all those different things that you love to do. So what we're going to get started with is at first the exact things that contractor coach is going to help you with. I'm going to be sharing with you how to choose the right contractor coach for you. So the biggest benefit of hiring a coach is that they've generally gone through all the ups and downs and learned all the different methods that you need to employ in your business. So they've already done it. They've gone through it. They've walked the path. They know, don't do this, do this, because that, didn't work out for me. I lost lots of money. It's often said that every good coach walks with a limp. And the reason being is because they've been on the front lines. They've been through the battles. They've been through the ups and downs of, trying to make payroll, of losing clients, of having difficult clients, trying to implement systems, which is the big thing that I'm all for. So a good coach will have gone through those before. And there's going to be lots of different types of coach. Some will be stronger in certain areas than others. So you have to kind of weigh that out when you're deciding on who to go through. But that is a huge thing. And they're going to help you. The second point I'm going to talk about is that they're going to help you mitigate mistakes. So there's a lot of mistakes that can happen. You've probably made tons. I know I'm making new mistakes all the time. But the thing is, with the coaches that I've invested in, over 6 figures of coaching and courses and mentors and everything, they've helped guide me. And who knows how many additional mistakes or how much harder my life would have been if I had not gotten the proper coaching in place. Even just relying on other people that have gone through it. I can remember about 2 months ago, I was getting my podcast started. So I reached out to a good friend of mine, and he had been running a podcast. Within 30 minutes to an hour, he already told me, use this program, do this, don't do that, and just saved me probably weeks, if not months, of just hassle. And a good coach can do that for years of your life. They can navigate so that, in a year's time, you've missed all these big mistakes that you may have made, and you're about 2 or 3 years ahead. So they can shorten the time for success significantly and help you really just go past a lot of big mistakes that can happen when running a business. So the third point that I'm going to touch on is a good coach will have multiple businesses experience. So they may have started multiple of their own businesses, or they will have been in coaching for a while. So they've seen a lot of different businesses, have helped small businesses, have helped large businesses scale, get systems in place, help them with their marketing, sales, all this stuff. So there's all this knowledge from working with all these different businesses where you yourself is probably you're on your first business, maybe your second business, and you haven't gone to that 30,000 foot view and been able to kind of zoom out and seen, how did this business do this? How did this business do this? What's worked in the past, here or there? Again, it kind of ties back to the experience, but it's experience with other people's businesses and bringing that all together of this marketing strategy was really effective across multiple different businesses and help them do this. Whereas in your own business, you won't have the time or wherewithal to try all these different strategies. So you can it's like a mastermind effect or a group effect of a good coach will be able to have all that experience from different companies to boost their program, to boost their ability to coach, to boost their experience, to then provide for you and give you kind of a clear-cut path of, these are the things that have worked before and that we should implement in your business. Is this making sense? If there's any thoughts that come up, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to know if you've worked with a coach, what your experience was, and what's kind of some best advice or maybe a mistake that you missed because you hired a coach. I'd love to hear your thoughts below. As always, give it a big thumbs up. If you got value out of this video, give it a thumbs up. Point number 4 is accountability. So as with any business owner, it can be really easy just to do whatever you want every day, right? You are in control. If you want to take a day off, if you want to slack off, if you want to get your head down, sometimes we're not even really cognizant of what we're doing in our business sometimes. I have an accountability partner and I have coaches who help me stay accountable. Some people are going to have more self-discipline than others and be able to have a clear focus. But if you're not really clear on your goals and the exact steps to get to your goals, it's very easy to stray off track or to jump in, firefighting, save the day. We're just super busy right now. So I'm going to jump in. I'm going to do some project management. I'm going to jump on the tools or whatever, all those distractions that they're generating production in your business, but they're not growing your business. You're not working on your business, building out systems, building out processes, building out your people. And a good coach and mentor is going to keep you accountable, whether how often you're meeting, whether that's weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. They'll be able to sit down and say like, hey, we set this goal a month from now or 2 weeks from now. You were supposed to get this in place. You haven't got in place. What's going on? You're also going to feel more obligated to meet those targets, because often when you have, paid money, you're working with a coach. It could be the money aspect, like you've paid for coaching, so you want to get the most about it, but it could be just you don't want to let the coach down or your mentor down. So you have more wherewithal as far as like, it's always in the back of your mind that you want to get something done specifically and stay accountable to reaching your goals. And the coach is just that person that can kind of just align you a little bit. It's like when they're taking off to go to the moon, in the 60s or late 60s, I think it was, going to the moon for the first time. The actual spaceship is off course, like something like 99% of the time. It's not even going to hit the moon, but there's systems in place that are constantly checking, are we off course by this much, do we need to adjust? So a coach is going to help you do that. Like, hey, this is your goal. You set these big goals for this year, for this month, for this quarter, for this week, for this day, whatever it is. Are you on track? Are you actually going to hit those goals? And maybe we need to make an adjustment, or we need to bring in some help, or we need to try a different strategy. So accountability is huge. So the fifth point I'm going to touch on is rapid implementation. The more coaching I do over the years, I've really found kind of the biggest problem that I'm solving for a lot of contractors is, yes, we provide systems, we have a process, we know what processes work, and its strategy is very kind of easy generally to set up. Same as software. It's like, there's a kind of black and white, this is how you do it, and this is how it can be done. Obviously, there's tweaks and customization and all this different stuff, but the implementation point of actually like getting it useful in your company and making it so that it works in a way that your people can get trained on it and it's actually being utilized, that is usually the hardest point. And that's really where a good coach will help you bridge that gap between concept and strategy to actual implementation, where it's like working, it's producing results for you of, more profitability, more time freedom, easier processes for your people, better company culture. There's a lot of different things that go into it. I was talking with a general contractor last week, and they were doing well over $1 million of revenue, but they were really struggling with implementation. He said, like, we have standard operating procedures, we have a system, we have software. I'm still working like 50, 60, 70 hours a week. I'm super like in there trying to make sure things happen, and we have all this stuff, but it's not being used, and we're not really seeing a lot of benefits from it because we're still super busy. Things are still a little bit chaotic. Consistency is still an issue with sales and marketing, with production, with the field guys. And there was this big disconnect of between actually just like they have the system. I didn't take a close look at it, so I don't know how it was, but there's all these pieces that need to come together in a puzzle to fit properly, and then actually getting your team to use it. So that's where a good coach is going to help you implement and tell you, again, from experience of like, yes, these are the things you want to have in place. This is the software to use. This is a strategy to use. These are the social platforms where you should be posting, or this is how you should run that process. This is how you should train your carpenters or whatever. But this is how you should communicate them. This is how you should lead them. This is how you should set the system up so it's very easy. And with an onboarding process that everybody who's onboarded and the people who are already existing in your business go through that same onboarding process so that they know where it is, they know how to follow it, they know what's expected, and you have checks and balances to be checking. Is this actually being effective? Is this being used? Is our profitability going up? Am I spending less time on my business? So there's a lot of other things to go into implementation that a coach is really going to help you. And you being kind of stuck in your business and just kind of running the day-to-day operations, you don't really have, again, that 30,000 foot view of like, how do the pieces fit and how do I actually get my people and my company operating in a way that we're utilizing the systems and being implemented correctly. Can you see how a coach could be like a game changer for you? And the investment of time and money is really a no-brainer. I would not be in business or even think about starting a business without having a coach, having mentors, different people who I can rely on, who can help me, guide me, and get me to that next level so that I'm not out there just scratching my head, trying to cut through the jungle and trying to do everything for the first time. I want a clear-cut path. I want an easier way. I want a way in which it will be straightforward. I know someone's been there before and they can guide me. Yes, there'll still be mistakes. Yes, there'll still be difficult, but it's gonna be a lot easier with someone who's there and guide you to where you want to get to. So as far as picking the right contractor coach, I think generally you are probably going to know pretty early on if this person is a good fit for you. I've gone through this kind of process of finding like a good coach or someone that I resonate with. And I know ahead of time, like when I'm looking for someone specific and what I want them to do. So really you want to get out a piece of paper. What are the things that you are like must-haves that you need the coach to help you with? So what are the big problems in your business that you want the coach to help you with that you feel are going to make a difference and an impact in your life? And then kind of figure out someone who is kind of on the same wavelength as you, that you resonate with and that you believe will be able to provide value for you. And then that's who you want to reach out to and figure out kind of in depth and ask them, what's their process, how they go through. But generally they're going to have some sort of an onboarding process. There should be a really good in-depth view of like your business and what you bring to the table uniquely in your business for your clients. And there should be this discovery period. I start this early with my clients and we go through a full assessment. What does your marketing look like? What does your production look like? What does your staff look like? What kind of systems do you have in place? We get a really good feel of like where you're at now. And then we're going to set a future goal. So where do you want to be in 6 months, in 1 year, in 2 years, in 5 years, so that we have a very clear picture of like where you're at now, where do you want to get to be, and now we've got that aligning point, like those rocket astronauts trying to get to the moon. We know where you want to be, what's the end goal, and now we can stay aligned with that, and we can set up processes and prioritize what is going to get you the quickest and the easiest and what is necessary right now. I've sometimes with clients, they need marketing, they need lead gen, they're inconsistent with sales and financials are hurting. So we're gonna focus there because you need to get healthy financially before we can start worrying about some of the other stuff. Yes, we'll do some, quick fixes and plug any leaking holes in the boats essentially, but we will prioritize what we want to get to. And then there should be some content, usually exclusive type content or processes. And this is something that I found lacking with some of the coaches early on in my career, that they were great at helping me and we would talk through problems and they'd give me advice, but there wasn't really anything concrete that I could then put into my business. So that is something as well that you're going to want to check out if the coach is the right fit for you. Do they have ready-made processes, systems, documents, worksheets, some sort of a process that it can be, can go through in time. So I hope this video has helped you. If there's anything you take away, one thing, big key point is look for a coach. Don't go into business. Don't expect to get big results or to get to where you want to in a short period of time without a good mentor, without a good business coach, without a good group of people around you that are killing it, who are getting ahead, who have the experience that you need. I'll see you on the next one.